Ardor. Extreme vigor, energy. Synonym, enthusiasm. Examples. It is a person with a great ardor for some cause. His political ardor led him into many arguments. She displayed great ardor for art. Arid. Excessively dry. Synonym, withered. Examples. The prison was set among arid country in sandy plains. Our road cut through the arid plain that had stretched before us yesterday. This system is in general use throughout the arid portions of the West. Artifact. A remaining piece from an extinct culture or place. Synonym, historical, antique. Examples. The church was a hallowed place because of the sacred artifacts. The prize awaiting at the end is usually a valuable artifact. This artifact was created during the 8th century in Ireland. Artisan. A worker in a skilled trade. Synonym, craftsman. Examples. It was the era of the artisan artist. It was in connection with architecture that the great artisan movement began. They were concerned about the skilled artisan, not the factory masses. Ascetic. Practicing restraint as a means of self-discipline, usually religious. Synonym, rigorous. Examples. Here he lived a quiet if not an ascetic life. A more or less ascetic mode of life was also natural under the circumstances. His mode of life was simple and ascetic in the extreme. Ascribe. To assign, credit. Synonym, attribute to. Examples. People like to ascribe human feelings to animals. To what do you ascribe your phenomenal success? We ascribe great importance to these policies. Assail. To attack. Synonym, assault. Examples. The opposition's newspapers assail the government each day. If anyone ever talks negatively about Alex's father, his response is to assail the person with insults. These days nightmares assail him badly. Assiduous. Hardworking. Synonym, diligent. Examples. The government has been assiduous in the fight against inflation. She was assiduous in her duties. Such assiduous attention has never been directed at this market before. Astute. Very clever, crafty. Synonym, sharp. Examples. He made a series of astute business decisions. It was an astute move to sell just before prices went down. The criminal was very astute and well matched the detective in intelligence. Atone. To repent, make amends. Synonym, repay. Examples. The country's leader has expressed a wish to atone for his actions in the past. How can I atone for hurting your feelings? But to atone for this and other abuses, the firms have already promised billions of dollars to state governments. Atrophy. Waste away, especially as a result of the degeneration of cells. Synonym, decay. Examples. Signs include pain, weakness, and rear limb muscle atrophy. Skin atrophy affects derma and subcutaneous tissue. Memory can atrophy through lack of use. Attain. To achieve, arrive at. Synonym, accomplish. Examples. Their strategy was to claim that output targets were unattainable and not to attain them. Here is your opportunity to attain a goal. In my experience, people who tried to attain their ends by covert means came to unfortunate ends. Attire. Clothing. Synonym, dressing. Examples. I hardly think jeans are appropriate attire for a wedding. Guests are requested to wear formal attire. I was never conscious that my attire was odd until I had my first normal boys' gear. Audacious. Excessively bold. Synonym, fearless. Examples. He described the plan as ambitious and audacious. But Cambridge found their feet and took an audacious lead. Clara herself had never audacious enough to say that. Audible. Able to be heard. Synonym, clear, distinct. Examples. There was an audible sigh of relief when the news came through that nobody was hurt. His words were barely audible. A voice synthesizer gives further audible warnings. Avarice. Excessive greed. Synonym, lust. Examples. Avarice increases with wealth. I interpreted his secrecy as emotional avarice. He paid a month's rent in advance, just enough to satisfy the landlord's avarice. Avert. Prevent or ward off. Synonym, avoid. Examples. He managed to avert the closure of the factory. Sudan requires food immediately to avert a humanitarian catastrophe. Negotiations continued all day to avert a strike. Awful. Very bad or unpleasant. Synonym, disgusting. Examples. The poor little bugger got an awful shock. I feel awful about forgetting her birthday. There's an awful smell in here.